Abigail confronts Ben and takes back the document. Ian promptly kidnaps her, but Ben and Riley rescue Abigail. Knowing that that wasn't the actual real document, I would have left her. I'd be like, there is no sexual chemistry between us. You're on your own.
Yes, but in the movie, there is. But also remember, Ben Gates in this movie is the ultimate do-gooder.
Yes, because I thought the other guy was going to say something like, we almost got killed.
Yeah.
And she didn't even have the document. Are you out of your mind?
Lights, camera, and action. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared.
Damn!
And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are now in 2004, and we are going to watch an Indiana Jones ripoff. National Treasure, which I remember, if I remember right, because that's what I believe everyone was talking about when it came out. This is just an Indiana, but it was different enough that it wasn't an Indiana Jones ripoff.
Well, first of all, it was contemporary.
Yeah.
So he was just a historian, I believe, not an archaeologist.
Yeah.
It all takes place in the US. So there was no exotic traveling.
No.
There were still some nefarious villains.
Oh, yeah. And there were puzzles and different underground things. And yes. I remember loving this movie.
I remember loving it too.
I love Nicolas Cage. Say what you want about him. Like, he's done some really bad movies, but even his bad movies, like, you could tell Wicker Man.
Yeah.
He was trying. Like, he never phones anything in.
Look, he is the most serious actor I have ever seen, when really he should be the most unserious. Because God bless, sometimes he does a movie and I'm like, sir, you're really bringing all of the work to this, and you should not.
No.
But God bless. No. I mean,
but he's made some fantastic movies.
He's a national treasure, and also so exceptionally weird. I love his obsession with Superman. I think he named his son Kal-El.
I believe he did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's dedication. But I mean, he's made some of the greatest, like Face Off, Con Air.
Oh, The Rock,
which I also love, and I'm also afraid to watch again.
It's still got, like, even some of his newer ones, like Renfield. I watched that. I thought that was great. I haven't seen Willy's Wonderland. I really want to, and I want to see Mandy. He's made a bunch of bad ones. Like, don't get me wrong, he's great in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as a Spider-Man Noir.
Yes,
like, you know who he is. Oh, Mom and Dad, where the parents turn into zombies, like
I haven't seen that.
Killing. Oh, it's great. They drop their kids off at school, and then something happens, and all the parents turn into homicidal maniacs and try to kill their kids.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's also with Selma Blair.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I like Ghost Rider.
I'm not, like, honestly,
it's not the best movie. But...
No, that was me. I was like, this is not winning any awards, but I'm like, why? Because after the initial reviews, I was like, oh, that must be shit. So then I watched it and I was like, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Why is everybody so mad at it?
Yeah, like The Sorcerer's Apprentice, Season of the Witch. I went to the theater and watched that. Not my best choice, but
Wind Talkers I loved.
Oh, I love Wind Talkers. That was a great movie. I have not seen The Wicker Man, and I do not know why I have not seen it. I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it yet. Lord of War.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Matchstick Men adaptation, Windtalkers. Yeah, that was a great. He's made some really, really 8mm Snake Eyes, City of Angels, Face Off,
Honeymoon
Con
in Vegas.
Air. Talk about
Yeah.
B movies. Con Air was amazing. Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah. Kiss
Peggy
of
Sue
Death.
Got Married. God, I love that movie.
It Could Happen to You. Oh, the one we Trapped in Paradise. We did that.
That was terrible. That one hurt my heart. That one hurt my heart.
Even when he started out, like Valley Girl and The Outsiders and Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Rumblefish, and like he's Raising Arizona.
Oh my God, I haven't seen
one of the greatest movies
in so long
ever. One of the greatest 80 movies, anyways. I remember.
Yeah. Moonstruck.
Moonstruck, yeah.
He's got a huge body of work.
Yeah.
And two, the most varied body of work.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. The genres he hits.
The genres, the characters, like he's not pulling a Steven Seagal where he plays the exact same character just in a different costume.
No.
Like he does it.
And just so people, if they can't remember, Diane Kruger, it plays his co-star. Justin Bartha, you know him to see him. Sean Bean, Harvey Keitel, the wonderful Jon Voight. Christopher Plummer. Like there's a lot of people in this movie.
I think
Helen Mirren. Yeah,
Helen Mirren is in it. Yeah.
Like that's a pretty impressive.
There are
cast.
A lot of people in it, and a lot of people that you will recognize, but you don't know their names.
Yep.
And you'll see them, and you'll be like, "Hey, I know that guy." I've seen a lot of them have guest starred on Supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah, they must have shot. Where's that shoot in British Columbia?
That shoots in Vancouver, yeah.
Vancouver, yeah.
But it's funny because I'm looking because there's one guy, Mark Pellegrino. He did a stint. He played Lucifer on Supernatural. He's in this movie as one of the.
Oh, I like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's American born. Don McManus was also American born, but also on Supernatural. He played Sam Hain, aka the Halloween Devil. But yeah, there's a bunch of like people that you're like, I know your face. I've seen your face before.
Now, the person who directed this movie is John Turtletub. The fuck? Butcher his name.
Yeah, Turtletub.
You would know him from? He did While You Were Sleeping, Phenomenon, The Kid with Bruce Willis, Instinct, National Treasure. He did a couple episodes of Jericho. He also, I think, he produced the entire series of Jericho. And now Disney made a TV show of this without Nicolas Cage in it on Disney. It's a Disney Plus show.
I will watch it after
National Treasure something, but it's a TV series with a different cast, but along that lines of. I've never seen it. I forgot about it until I looked up this. And then I remembered that's right.
Interesting.
They did. I don't know how many episodes or seasons they did, but it's, I think, directed by the same person.
Yeah.
If I'm not, or at least he produced it. So it's got a decent director and it's got a great cast. But I don't remember a lot of the movie.
I remember that it had to do with the Constitution.
Yeah.
There is a lot of American history involved in it. Also, they're being chased, I want to say, by a German. I could be wrong.
Fucking Germans.
Right?
They're always getting stuff they're not supposed to be.
Nicolas Cage is named after Benjamin Franklin. I remember that.
I just remember, yeah, as you said.
Diane Kruger plays his ex.
She's married to what's his name from Walking Dead, right?
Yes. Oh,
Daryl Dixon. That's not his real name.
That's not his real name. Wait for it. Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, right.
Yes. They got together. Some say allegedly while she was still with Joshua Jackson. But others say it was after Joshua Jackson. Timeline's a little fuzzy on that one, but she seems very happy with.
Yeah, they've been together for quite a while.
With Norman Reedus. Yeah, I feel bad for Norman Reedus because every time I look at him, I just assume he smells bad. And it's a thing. I think it's his hair.
You're not the only person that said that.
Yeah.
Like my wife said, he looks so greasy.
He looks stale. And it's weird because I still find him very attractive, but I'm like,
well, he isn't a zombie apocalypse, but then you see him in an interview or another show,
and he still has that same like greasy hair. I'm like, dude, you still look musty. Please take a shower, use a little conditioner. It's okay to wash your hair. It's fine. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, there's a lot of people, and I remember quite a bit from them. I remember a lot of running around. Part of it takes place in Philadelphia. They touch on things, I think, like the Illuminati and the Masons, I think, was also included in this. Like, and it's very much like there's a secret history to the US, and it has something to do with the Declaration of Independence.
Now I'm remembering I liked National Treasure 2. So I'm wondering
I remember liking that too.
I'm getting what them mixed up together. Yeah, I was kind of puzzled because I like number 2. I think number 2 did well. Why didn't they make a third one?
I can't remember number 2 that much, though.
Well, what do we think is the budget for this? This is 2004.
Oh, this was like 60 million.
This was actually 100 million.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of money for 2004. That's a lot of money now. I mean, not for a Star Wars or an MCU movie.
No.
Marvel, but for a regular movie.
Because this would just be considered like an action movie. This was not sci-fi or fantasy. Like, this was just, I don't want to say run of the mill.
No.
This was also probably when Nicolas Cage was getting paid his highest amount.
That's true too. He was probably making a pretty penny.
And I mean, Jon Voight was apparently Harvey Keitel was in this too. Christopher Plummer. They all would have been high price tags. I think Ed Harris was getting a pretty decent price tag at this time.
Well, let's weird saying it that way, but it had a sequel, so it did do well. It had a 173 million domestic run, and a 174 international run.
Ooh!
So it made 347 million. Again, we've said this: marketing is not like it is today. I'm sure it did a lot of marketing, but this movie made money.
It 100% made money, but I remember they did have quite the publicity tour for it.
Yeah, I do. You're right. I remember seeing commercials. I remember because now the internet is an actual thing in 2004.
Yeah,
albeit pretty slow compared to today.
Very, very basic internet. You were not getting this. You were not getting Google alerts.
No.
Was Google even a thing in 2004? Or were we still asking Jeeves?
When did Google start? Oh, 1998. Yeah.
Oh, wait. When was Google first widely used? In the year 2000.
Yeah. So it was there.
This was still the time when people were using Bing.
But the
Jeeves.
Apple iPhone still was a couple years away. We had iPods. We're still putting.
We were not
iPods.
using smartphones at this point.
No such thing as smartphone yet.
Yeah, although the phones that we did have were just beginning to have internet, and
you could play little games on a couple games on them.
And
ringtones
some of them
were a big thing.
Oh my god, such a big thing!
Yeah, and you paid like $2-3 just to have that little 10-second ringtone.
This is super fucking weird, and I'll say this now. I happen to have one of my old phones near me, and this was a Nokia.
Oh, I had a Nokia flip phone back in the day.
I had a Motorola Razor.
Oh, I had a Motorola too. It was even bigger.
Oh, cool. Anyways, this one was actually probably around 2004 that I had this, but I don't. Can you see? This was the MP3 player / cell phone.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh yeah,
look how small it is."
Yeah. Look at how many. I wonder how many songs were you able to hold in it? It wasn't
not that much.
No,
because even the like really big, like multiple gigabyte iPods were ginormous.
Oh god, yeah. My first MP3 player was not an iPod, it was a piece of shit. And it held I think I could get depending on the length 25 to 30 songs, and I thought that was amazing.
Honestly, that was all I remember when I finally upgraded, because I had a shitty MP3 player, and then I upgraded to the Sony Walkman MP3 player. And it was so good. I had multiple albums on there. I was downloading all my music, some of it legally, some of it not.
Is that website?
LimeWire.
Was it LimeWire? What's the other one? Where the guy?
Oh, Napster.
Napster. Yeah.
Yeah. I never used Napster. I used LimeWire a lot, but then I also had friends who were bootlegging a lot of CDs. So they would just give me the CD and then I would download all the music. And put it onto my MP3 player. God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But I did occasionally buy
It was
songs.
a lot of work to steal music.
It really
back in the day. Like we earned it.
So
Not like today.
Not like today where you just like Google the song and then you can download it.
Yeah. And Google remembers the last 500 songs you listened to. So if your internet
or you have
out,
Spotify.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Spotify. Yeah.
God, these kids these days, they don't know the struggles of trying to get music for free.
Yeah. And it's not like you just pushed a button and it was automatically. You had to download it. And that could take, even a song could take a couple hours.
Oh my God.
Movies took like a day.
100%. You started downloading it overnight because you knew nobody was going to. Well, no, at this point. Well, I think we were still dial up at this point.
Yeah, you probably could.
It was phasing out.
But it was expensive.
Yeah. God. Yeah. Anyways, so National Treasure.
National Treasure. Okay, so it was released on March 19, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened at number 1. I want the weekend, please. Thank you. With $35 million. The next week, it opened at number 1 again, but it was the Thanksgiving Day weekend. And it opened up with 45 million on its second weekend.
Makes sense.
It kept going up. Then 39 million. Then 32. This movie that's really good.
That's amazing. It's
35, 45, 39, 32.
Jesus.
That's pretty good. It started to drop around its 6th. Yeah. Around Christmas. Exactly. Yeah. December 24th. Yeah. It fell off to 11th place, but it made all its money.
Yeah.
What else was it? Beat out Incredibles, Christmas with the Cranks, The Polar Express, SpongeBob SquarePants, the first movie, Alexander, Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason. That would be number 2, right?
I think so.
Finding Neverland and Ray and After Sunset. Yeah. So it did all right.
Yeah.
All right. What do we think on Rotten Tomatoes? I'm pretty sure it got good reviews.
I don't think it did.
Oh no? Okay.
I don't think it did. I have a feeling everybody hated it. Not hated it, but I think they were like, ugh, this is boring. More of the same. Like mindless, nonsensical action.
All right. Let's take a look.
Which is
here we are. Favorite. Oh, you're right. 177 reviews, comes in at 46%. That's horrible.
That's terrible.
But 250,000 audience popcorn meters comes in at 76%. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Audiences loved it. Critics were split. More.
I think it's like it. Objectively like not a smart movie and it's not a cohesive movie.
Yeah.
But it is a fun movie.
Yeah. And usually when you go to the movies, that's all you want.
I want to be entertained. Yeah. Now, whether that entertainment is intelligent
smart
or deep or emotional, that's a different story. But I'm like, as long as I'm entertained, I don't give a fuck if there are plot holes.
Yeah. As long as it's fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes those plot holes are fun.
Sometimes the plot holes, I'm like, I don't need it explained. Occasionally, I need the plot hole explained. Because I'm like, look, guys, if you're trying to take me from point A to point B and there's a big, giant, like, sinkhole of a plot hole in the middle of it, we've got a problem. But I mean, if they're little tiny ones that you can kind of logic your way out of, it's fine.
All right. So National Treasure is an Anna pick.
It is.
So you can do the good ones and I will do the bad ones. You may start.
Fire up the grill and enjoy a little Cage Madness mashed together with some over-the-top Jerry Bruckheimer action. That's from Jason Delgado at Film Threat. Original score, 7 out of 10.
It is, for all its moments, a quintessential Bruckheimer project. A big movie that... Is it a Bruckheimer? Produced by?
I think he's a producer, yeah.
Yeah. A big movie that at its core is just too small. Mark Stein, The Spectator.
It is A definitely guilty pleasure, and 90% of the reason why can be summed up in 2 words. Nicolas Cage. That's from Matthew Rasa at salon.com. His original score is 3 out of 4.
This is from Robert Rotten from Laramie Movie Scope. It is harmless fun, but it could have been done a lot better. Original score C.
There might be too many inaccuracies in the plot. The mix of the past and the present is naive and at times downright silly, but makes for fun viewing if you don't put your thinking caps on. The film has enough to keep you involved. That's from Namrata Joshi at Outlook. Original score 2 out of 4.
Here's one. Rob Val, Flipside Movie Emporium. A dumb movie national treasure remains, but only the unkindest heart could call it bad. Original score C.
The film's infectious enthusiasm for American history, never mind that it's an incredibly fanciful version of that history, is a welcome respite from the hyper self-conscious civic pride Hollywood usually displays. That's from Megan Basham at National Review. No score.
Mike Clark from USA Today. 10 minutes into this picture, you are searching the screen for life support machines. 1.5 out of 4.
Let's see. Ooh, this one's good. As realism, Turtletop's movie flops. As escapism, though, grab the popcorn, kick your feet up, and have a blast. That's from David Cornelius at efilmcritic.com. Original score 3 out of 5.
Jamie Bernard from New York Daily News also gives it 1.5 out of 4. Nicolas Cage usually brims with personality, but you wouldn't know it from this pedestrian ripoff of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
Ouch.
Works fairly well as slick, enjoyable hooey. In its general approach, if not all particulars, this could represent a promising new approach in family entertainment. That's from Stephen D. Greydanis. Decent films, original score B-.
Roger Ebert from the Chicago Sun-Times says, National Treasure is so silly that the Monty Python version could use the same screenplay, line for line. 2 out of 4. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. You know what's really funny? Okay, we're going to do this one, and I think this will be my last. None of this should work, but in the best Bruckheimer tradition, it does. That's from Bob Strauss at Los Angeles Daily News. Original score 3 out of 4.
All right, let's go to IMDb, the voice of reason, because it's people like us who sometimes are right. Holy shit, 367,000 user ratings. Comes in at 6.9 out of 10. That's not bad. That's almost
pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good.
All right, since this is Anna pick, you may start with a 10. There's a lot to choose from, too.
There is a whole lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, this movie is just as big a treasure as the national treasure itself. That's from The Honest Critic, 10 out of 10.
Indiana Jones minus the gore, 9 out of 10.
Ooh, the American movie for just the right audience. Tabuno, 8 out of 10.
This is DeGroom 72. Take National Treasure for what it is, a fun movie.
National Treasure is not an Oscar quality film, but it could make for a fun night at the cinema. Christian 123, 6 out of 10.
It's 1, improbable storyline, plot problems, and Nick Cage being, you guessed it, Nick Cage again. 5 out of 10.
Lock this treasure up in a vault and bury that vault so far down it reaches the core of the earth and melts. Johnny Boys, 4 out of 10.
Movie Man 200 says hopeless, hapless, and convoluted thriller that goes nowhere fast. 3 out of 10.
Oh, this was funny. Nicolas Cage has gone back to making lousy movies, apparently. Burkhart 3, 2 out of 10.
Let's see. So this guy was disgusted by this picture. Cookie cutter.
Wow.
I'm hungry. I want to stop watching. Wow. Jesus Christ. Propaganda film for the brainless. H. Murphy 2000, 1 out of 10. Right.
Hold on. Can we throw in another one at a time? Because I found this. Are we there yet? I'm hungry. This car smells weird. Film critic, one out.
All right, let's take a look before we watch the trailer. Oops. Okay, taglines for National Treasure include, oh, come on, from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not a tagline. Producer of the Caribbean. Yeah, no. Here's more from the producer. Okay. The greatest adventure history has ever revealed.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
In order to break the code, one man will have to break all the rules.
Too many words, but not bad.
The clues are right in front of your eyes.
No, that's shitty.
And for those who can't remember, actually, great poster. It just has Nicolas Cage up top there. The word Nicolas Cage. And then it has from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean just under that. And it's obviously a document. I don't know if that's the...
It's the Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of Independence. And then it has National Treasure, has that triangle with the eye. And it's a fine poster.
No, it's a good poster. It's a good one.
Yeah. And it does. I can see why people like the Indiana Jones, but I don't remember it really being like Indiana Jones.
I don't remember it being like Indiana Jones either. It felt very much like if Indiana Jones, like the professor, went on an adventure as opposed to Indiana Jones, the like archaeologist adventure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I remember this movie feeling more like. Brains over brawn.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot more, but in a fun way.
No, in a super fun way.
Yeah. At least that's what I remember.
And I remember laughing a little bit too. Like it's not just a straight action. It was like a comedy action. God, please don't suck.
Yeah. All right. So we will share this. And we will watch the trailer and then make our prediction.
Benjamin Franklin Gates, you are undertaking the duty of the family Gates to find the most spectacular treasure in history. It grew throughout the ages and moved across continents until it was hidden by America's founding fathers, who left clues to the treasure's location right before our eyes. The unfinished pyramid, the all-seeing eye, are telling us something. Keeping this treasure safe, Benjamin, is your destiny.
You're treasure hunters, aren't you?
We're more like treasure protectors.
All his life, Benjamin Gates has searched for a treasure no one believed existed.
Don't you get it, Ben? The treasure is a myth.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that.
But what he thought was the final clue
108 years of searching and I'm 3 feet away.
is only the beginning.
The Declaration of Independence.
You think there is a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence?
The map is invisible.
Why would we make this up?
Where's your proof?
We don't have it.
Marley, get down!
Did Bigfoot take it?
Word about the map is bound to get out. Ian's going to try to steal it. 90 seconds. The only way to protect the Declaration is to steal it.
What?
I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Ben?
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director John Turteltaub.
It is surrounded by guards and video monitors and little kids on their 8th grade field trip. He will go to prison. You know that, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, go!
Get out of there. Get out of there now.
He's got the bloody map.
The clues of 10 generations
There's more to the riddle.
will reveal a mystery 20 centuries in the making.
Who wants to go down the creepy tunnel inside the tomb first?
Tell me what the next clue is.
What do you see?
Nicolas Cage. National Treasure.
Ooh.
That looks cheesy as fuck. I'm into it.
Good trailer though. Like it really did. It hit all the marks.
Yep.
I think I went to the theater and watched this.
I'm trying to remember if I did.
I think I did. It's
definitely rented it.
I think I rented it even after the fact. Yeah. I think I really like this movie. So I'm gonna be pissed if now I'm wondering though why I haven't seen it. Because when's the last time you saw this roughly?
It has been at least maybe 15 years. And that's why I chose it. Because I'm like, I remember loving this movie and watching it whenever it came on TV. I remember renting it. Like, it was one of those where I was like, ooh, National Treasure. But I haven't watched it in so long. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
So now we're going to find out together why I have not seen
about,
it in like 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years for me too. I think it does look cheesy. I will agree with that. Yeah. But it does look fun.
It looks so fun.
And I see where the $100 million, like you had like the Civil War, the American Revolution, you had the Crusaders, the ships. And Jerry Bruckheimer, it spares no expense.
So true. He loves putting money into
good movie,
films.
Bad movie, doesn't matter. All of them cost a fortune.
That's true. He's like, just throw money at it. It'll make it better. You're like, no, sir. No, it will not.
We'll spend more money in post. We'll fix that right up. All right. Well, we are going to go watch National Treasure from 2004. And when we come back, we are going to review it.
You heard them. Movie time. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat. And then watch a classic kick-ass movie from whenever the one we're about to watch was made.
Yay! Welcome back. Did you watch National Treasure 2004? I hope so. I can't hear you. Oh, wait. I didn't mute you. No, you muted you. There you go.
Me. I'm here.
There you go.
Yes, I did indeed watch National Treasure 2004.
All right. What's your initial thoughts?
It was still a really fun movie. Not as good as I remembered.
Yeah.
I really remember loving it, and I didn't love it, but it was still really, really good.
Yeah. It was definitely not an Indiana Jones rip.
Oh.
I don't know why I keep thinking that. Maybe second one's more. Well, I don't know. But yeah, it was not. I mean, there were slight similarities of trying to find treasure a bit, but that's where it ended.
Yeah, this was more of a like cerebral Indiana Jones.
It's one of the comments said that it's more nowadays. It's more like it's watching people doing an escape room.
Honestly, yeah. Especially if you go to the really good escape rooms.
Yeah. Not the ones around my place, which is usually a Walmart.
I've been wanting to do the one at Casa Loma.
They had one that Walmart, was like you have to get out. That's my escape room.
That's everybody's escape room.
Get me the fuck out of here. Yeah, Casa Loma one. That's in Toronto, Canada. That's the big castle.
It is
in the name,
castle, but it was not built by like a lord or a lady or royalty of any kind. It was built by a businessman who ran out of money. He made it for his wife. Then his wife died like a couple years after it was built. And then he went broke. And now it's a lovely museum, like tourist attraction. You can also have your wedding there. There's a restaurant there that's very highly rated. I've heard. I can't afford it. But apparently they have an escape room, I think in the basement. And it's based on like the Second World War and like code breaking and things. I don't know if it's still running, but I was like, God damn, that would be a great escape room to do.
Yeah, good setting.
Right?
No, this movie was fine. It was fun. The only gripe I had about this movie was like the in your face trying to have that romantic chemistry.
Oh, there was none.
Every adventure movie has action. That's why they're like almost the perfect movie. It's action, tense, like thriller, mystery, tense moments, and a little bit of comedy, a little bit of romance. But they were trying to just start like as soon as they met, they were trying to like jam this romance together, and it didn't. That's the only complaint I had. It's like they were blowing together on the Declaration of Independence, and I'm like, oh fuck, blow me.
Yeah. Kids don't blow him. No, it's Justin Bartha probably had the most funny. You could tell the lines that Nicolas Cage had that were supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Yeah.
They were totally trying to, like, the simple fact is Nicolas Cage and Diane Kruger had no chemistry.
No.
Like, none whatsoever. Diane Kruger had more chemistry with Justin Bartha than any.
And they almost look better together.
Because they meshed.
Yeah.
They meshed. And they had great chemistry. And she even had great chemistry with, the creepy guy. Oh, God, what was his name? Dr. Heller? Herbert.
Yeah.
Herbert. She had more chemistry with him than with Nicolas Cage. So the romance, I just kind of dismissed it. I didn't even think about it.
Was Ed Harris in this?
No, I don't think so.
Because I thought he was. And I'm like, where'd Ed Harris go? I saw Harvey Keitel and Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
And
I saw Mark Pellegrino looking super young. I was like,
the wonderful Jon Voight. But yeah, no Ed Harris. I thought Ed Harris, we said it was in the.
He's listed.
Is he? Yeah, I thought that's what I thought.
As Mitch Wilkinson. What the fuck was that?
I don't remember seeing Mitch Wilkinson.
Did we miss him completely?
Maybe he got cut.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, overall, it's a very easy family movie.
Yes.
And I will say this, and this is a problem with a lot of 90s and some early 2000s, that if you are from this time, you're a lot more forgiving. If this is not, you weren't in your teens or 20s or 30s in this time.
Yeah.
At least there was computers. At least there were some cell phones.
Yes.
Times, like if you watch Indiana Jones, it tells you right away, look, morons, this is 1936. And it says it right there on the screen. So you're like, oh, it's 1936. But some movies don't, and it takes you out like, why don't they just use their cell phones? And you're like, oh, they didn't have fucking cell phones, or
yes,
they didn't have iPhones. But at least there was some relative technology here, because it really used technology a lot.
Yes, they had the internet.
But yeah, they had the internet. Their flip phones.
They had Yahoo to search for things.
Yeah, they had Yahoo.
I was like, oh shit, Yahoo. It's been so long, little buddy.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, say that again. You were muted.
Oh, Yahoo was huge.
It was.
I remember a movie where someone goes back in time. I think it was White Noise, and the guy said, I wish I invested in Yahoo. And nowadays you're like, Yahoo, the fuck is Yahoo? Like, we know what Yahoo is.
We know.
There's a website, Yahoo, where they have some news and stuff on it.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be.
No, because that used to be the go-to.
Yeah.
Like before Google really hit, you had Ask Jeeves, you had Yahoo. But Ask Jeeves, even that wasn't that big. But it was Yahoo was the Google before Google really hit its stride.
Yeah. Said, fuck you, Yahoo.
And then Yahoo died.
It to the curb and died.
Well, Yahoo's on life support right now.
Yeah. I think it's been on life support for a while.
Yeah, a very long while.
But at least if you're younger and you watch it, it's dated, but it's not horribly dated for being as old as it is. It's 21 years old.
I mean, you get to see some of it, but I'm sure so many people are going to be like, well, why don't they do this? Why do they have to stop? Why? Because
they call an Uber.
The technology was still a little limited at that point.
Yeah. I saw exactly where the $100 million went. It was a lot of it was filmed in a amusement park or some sort of park where they recreated this for historical. It's like a historical place where you can go.
Yeah.
One of those called like an outdoor museum. But a lot of it was filmed where it said it was.
That would have cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, because you're talking New York, Boston, you're all over DC. And and then of course, we said this earlier, the revolution, the ships, like the pyramids, the Romans. Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer didn't fuck around.
No, not even a little bit. God bless. I mean,
He's like, should we just talk about it in the movie? And he's like, no, we'll fucking film it. Really?
well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, you're going down to like basically downtown Philadelphia or Center City, as they like to call it. You have to block off streets for the filming. You are taking over museums for the day, maybe 2, to film scenes. And when you think about the cost of that and the negotiations that have to happen, and I'm like, it probably would have just been cheaper to like build your own sets, to be perfectly honest.
And when the grandfather's explaining everything to the kid, usually if any other producer would have been like, well, we'll hear sounds in the background as he's telling him. And Bruckheimer's like, no, we won't. We'll fucking build those sets and we'll film it. We'll film Romans and Egyptians.
They really went in. I'm like, for those scenes alone, because it wasn't just like you see a couple Knights Templar with like a faded or a blurred out background and them carrying a trunk. You don't see that. You see the full, like, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
All right. Well, let's go through this movie. All right. National Treasure. What's the plot look like? Oh, it's not bad. All right. 2004. Benjamin Franklin Gates. That would be our main character, is an American historian, cryptographer, and treasure hunter. When Ben was young, his grandfather John told him a story about a fabled treasure hidden in America passed down from ancient times to the Knights Templar, founding fathers, and Freemasons. In 1832, Charles Carroll passed on a secret clue to their ancestor and could lead anyone to the treasure with the phrase, "The secret lies with Charlotte."
Mm-hmm.
While the story convinces Ben, his skeptical father, Patrick, dismisses it as nonsense. Yeah, his dad storms in the room and says, stop talking to this crazy bastard. Let's go. We're going home. Say goodbye to Grandpa. And we later learn, because he also spent a couple decades. Yeah, a couple decades looking for that treasure himself.
So basically, like, God bless Christopher Plummer. It was nice to see him also looking so young. I was like, oh, Christopher Plummer.
And in a grandfather role. Usually he plays like some mean businessman or...
This is true. He plays an incredible douchebag.
Yeah, but in this one, he was a heartwarming grandpa.
Yeah, telling wonderful stories about a treasure and a secret and a note, and you know how
ignore your father and keep hunting for the treasure.
Yeah, but it was a good introduction to who everybody is and what their history is, and
it told the whole history and plot of the movie and what was coming.
It basically told you exactly what, like, hey, so this is it, and we're the keepers of the treasure, and you know we always are looking for it, and that was it. And you're like, okay, great. So now we know why Benjamin Franklin Gates cares so much about this treasure, or why he's going to go looking for it.
Yeah. Ben and his friend, computer expert Riley Poole, he was probably the funniest. He had some really good funny lines. For those that, if you kind of remember the movie, haven't seen it in a while, he's actually, it still lands.
All of my loud laughs were with him.
Yeah, it still lands. He's pretty good. Head an expedition financed by wealthy Englishman Ian Howe to find the Charlotte. This is Sean Bean, who's always awesome, good or bad.
Yeah, true.
Revealed to be a ship lost in the Arctic. Within the ship, they find the Meerschaum pipe.
Yeah.
If I'm pronouncing it right, whose engravings reveal the next clue is on the Declaration of Independence. And that's what his dad was saying to him. It's just clue after clue after clue. Like, well, they're not going to make it fucking easy. It's not like you get one map and it's an
I
X.
love it how he's like, oh yeah, and then it leads to another clue, and then it leads to another clue, and they're like, and I wanted to kind of scream out loud, and I'm like, why has nobody in this movie said this? Even like, I'm like, they didn't want to make it easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be a quick search.
Yeah. It's not like all the British were hooked on phonics and going, duh. They had some smart people, so they had to make it hard.
And very American centric.
Yeah.
And that was another point that I really appreciated the history of that, because I was like, man, they're really keeping it to like American stuff, so that.
And actually, if you watch it, you're also learning something. There is a lot of history in this movie. Like they are, and some of it, like the treasure hunting stuff that is made up and stuff like that. But a lot of what they were saying was a lot of historical fact. It was, so you're enjoying a movie and you're learning something.
But I do want to say this, because at one point he mentions Thomas Edison. We'll get to the point where he has this discussion, but this really like grinded my gears.
Failures?
The 200 failures.
That's awesome.
Of making the filament.
Not failures.
No, they're not failures.
207 ways to
not do it.
To not make a light bulb.
Yeah, cool. you know why it took him 200 and some odd, like 207 attempts? Because he didn't invent the filament that he ended up using in the light bulb. That was invented by Lewis Howard Latimer.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Or I've heard that.
Edison bought the patent from him.
Yeah.
Or bought and patented it. He stole the idea. He was an Elon Musk. I'm gonna say it. Or he just buys other people's ideas and then like pretends it's his. But that one irked me because I was like, he didn't invent it.
Well, the guy invented the filter. He took it and put it in the light bulb.
Yeah, but what is a light bulb without the filament? It's a glass bowl.
A glass, yeah.
It's a glass bowl.
Round glass.
Congratulations, Edison. You discovered round glass. Oh, wait. Other people did that before you.
Oh my God. If we went through history, it's like Alexander Graham Bell, and it was Tesla, or no, was that?
No, it
what's
was
his name, Tesla? No, that's a different one. Someone stole something from Tesla.
Was something to do with electricity,
and the other guy invented it, and then Alexander Graham Bell beat or stole from the other. Apparently
and the amount of times that women discover stuff, but their male bosses, counterparts, husbands steal it and put their names on it and are like, my wife didn't do that. No, she just cleans the lab.
that crazy woman didn't invent that. I did. Look at her.
Yeah,
she's a woman. Yeah, apparently some black guy invented peanut butter.
Correct.
I always thought it was a squirrel. What do I know? Love peanut butter. Where are we? When Ian reveals himself as a crime boss and suggests stealing the decoration, a fight ensues and the group splits. Yeah, they seem to be like great friends on the way traveling down the Arctic on those giant friggin' snow thing. Yeah.
Snow trucks. Well, they mention, it's been 2 years in the making.
Yeah. Play poker together.
Ian is the investor. He believes in Ben's dream. He's like, yeah, no, there's a treasure. Ian gets his hopes up and he thinks, yeah, we found the Charlotte. We found the treasure. And you see the visceral disappointment on his face.
Yeah.
When he gets into the
hold?
What is
cargo
the
hold?
hold, the cargo hold, and he's like, gunpowder, more gunpowder.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but Ben is still looking for clues.
Yep. Ben and Riley report Ian's plan to the FBI. Well, okay, so before that, they turn on him, they try, and he lights that
the flare.
And he's like, we're surrounded in gunpowder, so they leave, lock them in because he drops it. Everything's going on fire. They go down an escape thing, and
a smuggler's hole and whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole reason Ben found it, he's like, why is the captain protecting this particular barrel? And I was like, smart. And then they find the pipe. He stabs himself so that he can roll the pipe in his own blood so that he can print it out, whatever's on the pipe handle. It's like a whole thing. Beautiful pipe, by the way. Beautiful. And then
it's lucky that was kept, because you'd think that would just been tossed to the side or put in a suitcase afterwards. Like, good thing he brought it along with him, or this movie would have went nowhere.
They're protectors of the secret.
That's right. Riley reports Ian's plans to the FBI and Dr. Abigail Chase of the National Archives, but are not believed. That's actually a pretty good scene when they're trying to convince her that it's going to be stolen, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you're treasure hunters."
I gotta say, it's like the most. It's terrible to think about, because I'm like, if someone tells you that one of your most priceless pieces of your national history is under threat of being stolen, even if it sounds ridiculous, shouldn't you at least take it like mildly serious?
And they kind of address that with Harvey Keitel when the one guy's like, "Yeah, we kind of got a call about that." 2 days before.
Well, they were like, can we see the well, we kind of didn't open a file because, I mean, come on. And then I think that was the one line I really laughed at with Nicolas Cage because he's like, so how's that working out for you?
Yeah. Ben decides to protect the Declaration by removing it from the archives preservation room during a gala event before Ian does. So he's using his brain, Ian's using his brawn. And it was kind of cool how it was back and forth. We saw because it was very tight and close to getting to the Declaration.
Yeah, they really were like, okay, both people are going towards it at the same time. And you get to visit in with both teams as they're working. And it did build a little bit of suspense because I was like, wait, are they there at the same time? That's nerve-wracking.
Where are we? Oh, obtaining Abigail's fingerprints, he successfully obtains the Declaration, but he is spotted by Ian's group just as they break in to steal it. It's a little more complex than this.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It is kind of cool how they did it, and
so cool.
Whole, they tapped into video wires, and there were fingerprints stolen.
Yeah, liquid on the metal.
Yeah,
for the keyboard to figure out the password.
Meanwhile, Ian was like, they had wire cutters and explosions or
drills,
like drills.
They were just going into walls.
Yeah, they were just like, fuck it,
blowing shit up.
Everything.
And they were like, we don't care if they see us here.
And hats off because they didn't kill. They were using tasers or whatever they were.
They used a taser, yes.
Yeah,
but they were more than willing.
Oh yeah, if that didn't work, because they were shooting at Ben.
Oh yeah. Real bullets, and he was using the bulletproof glass in front of the
Declaration.
He was using that to shield himself. Smart move.
Yeah, it wasn't like I kind of get why the reviewers didn't like it, but I mean, it was a PG family for a PG family movie. It's very smart, and you don't want a very complex friggin' movie if you want a family film to make money on weekends, which this did. So they were right and you were wrong, idiots. Ben tries to leave via the gift shop, but has to pay for the Declaration when the cashier mistakes it for a souvenir copy. Suspecting something amiss, Abigail confronts Ben and takes back the document. Ian promptly kidnaps her, but Ben and Riley rescue Abigail. Knowing that wasn't the actual real document, I would have left her. I'd be like, there is no sexual chemistry between us. You're on your own.
Yes, but in the movie, there is. But also remember, Ben Gates in this movie is the ultimate do-gooder.
Yes, because I thought the other guy was going to say something like, we almost got killed.
Yeah.
And she didn't even have the document. Are you out of your mind?
But they're like, no, we can't leave them. We can't leave her. We can't. Like, it's a whole thing, and then he just pops out, and he's like, oh, yeah, I know the real one's here. Don't worry.
Yeah, if I rescue her, I am so getting laid. Ian prompts kidnaps
That's what you
her.
think.
Yeah. Ben and Riley rescue Abigail, tracking Ian by leaving behind a souvenir copy of the Declaration. The FBI, led by Special Agent Peter Sadusky, begins tracking Ben. Going to Patrick's house, the trio studies the Declaration of... That's the dad.
Patrick is his dad, yeah.
Yeah. And they discuss this. They're like, the FBI already knows. They had a whole thing set up at his house. And he was like, we cannot go back. They're going to be there very shortly. So off to dad's they go.
Because they realized they needed the letters that Benjamin Franklin wrote under a pseudonym into a newspaper. So they were like, okay, we need the letters. My dad has them. Let's go there. And then the dad's like, whoops, gave them to a museum.
Yeah. My bad.
And he was like, oh, shit. We really actually have to touch the back of the thing. And they roll it out and over garbage bags on a table and get Q-tips and some lemon juice. And they go to town. And this is where they have the let's breathe on it at the same time and try and make it look romantic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was just weird.
Yeah. It was an odd one. It was an odd moment, but God bless.
Yeah. The message refers to Benjamin Franklin's Silence Do Good letters. Patrick formerly owned them, but donated them to the Franklin Institute, paying a schoolboy to view the letters and decipher the code for them. Ben, Riley, and Abigail discover the message pointing to the bell tower of the Independence Hall. Yeah, the kid was going back and forth for, I think, $1 per run.
$1 for every 4 letters.
And Ian's watching this kid come back and forth. He's like, wait a minute. Something's going on here.
Ian's like, where's the kid running? He just looked at the letters and ran.
Pursued by Ian, they find a brick containing a pair of spectacles with multiple colored lenses, which, when used to read the back of the declaration, reveal a clue pointing to Trinity Church. Ian's associates chase the trio through Philadelphia, until the FBI arrests Ben. So they finally do get Ben. Yeah, this movie is not globe-trotting like Indiana Jones and some other movies, but it is all over the place. Like, they're traveling everywhere. And it looks like they shot it on location.
Yeah, they start in DC, and you get a lot of really great shots of like the National
cinematography
Archives
was very nice.
Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, like really great shots. Then they go to Philadelphia, and you see everything that's there, which is so fun. And then there was somewhere else they went before they went to New York. I don't remember where it was. But anyways,
where was that? Yeah,
there was one other stop.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was really good. And I like that. I like that they were like, and here's all the history.
Yeah. FBI arrests Ben. Abigail and Riley lose the declaration to Ian, but Abigail convinces Ian to help them rescue Ben in exchange for the next clue. Ian agrees, contacts the FBI, and arranges a meeting at the USS Intrepid, where they help Ben evade the FBI. Before this, I do like the scene where the FBI break into the dad's house, and he's taped to the chair, and he's like, "Oh, they came in and taped me to the chair." They come out and they're like, he has a car what was it?
A Cadillac.
A Cadillac, but it's gone. And he's like, "Oh, and they stole my car."
And it was the way he said, Jon Voight, God bless him.
Yeah.
Because it was like, they tied me to a chair. And it just kind of waits. And then it's like, and they stole my car.
Ian returns the declaration and asks for the next clue, but when Ben remains coy, Ian reveals he has taken Patrick hostage. They travel to the Trinity Church, where they find an underground passage that appears to lead to a dead end lit by a lone lantern. This is about as Indiana Jones as this movie gets.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's not a bad thing. It's just my thought on it being
they make their way through a mausoleum.
Yeah.
And they make their way through a slot for a body. There's a body there too, which is nice.
Oh yeah, that fault. Some of the henchmen had a couple of good lines.
They did. Yeah. There were a few. There were a few moments.
This was not a laugh out loud movie, but it had some funny lines.
It did have some funny lines.
Yeah.
Ian really solidifies his villain position. Because I think at one point I made the note, I'm like, God, I really hate this guy. Because he seems to have like zero scruples, and he always goes to like the most extreme.
Yeah, because even when he looked almost relieved when he found out Ben was still alive.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, and that jump, that was a dangerous jump," and da. And then when it comes to it, he's like, "Oh, I'll just fucking kill all you." It's like, well, that's a big turn.
Like that's his favorite thing, and they're like, also when he's giving him the clue about Trinity Church, I think it was. That's when he shows like, oh no, you can only do that if you hold all the cards, and then that's when you see Ben's dad is in the car, and you're just like, God, really? You're gonna take his dad? Like it's not enough? You're threatening to shoot him every 30 seconds?
Yeah, you're not as nice as you appear.
No,
you're very polite as a British person, but you're
so polite.
Still a douche.
Very good manners, but still a douchebag. Yes.
Patrick, because he's saying that the lantern, there's nothing there, but Patrick claims it's a reference to a midnight ride of Paul Revere, pointing Ian to the Old North Church in Boston, a claim that Ben supports. Ian traps the group in the chamber and leaves for Boston, after which Ben and Patrick reveal it was a false clue to get him out of the way. Yeah, and he's just like, well, see us. And they're like, you can't leave us down there. I'm like, well, yeah, I can.
Well, they find this great big rickety vault. Half of them almost die trying to get to the bottom because obviously wood rot. So they're trying to make it down. They make it down to this thing. Dad, Patrick, gives the full clue to make it look like Ben's not giving them the full clue. And then Patrick like steps up and Ben's like, no, what are you doing? Gives them the full clue, sends them off to Boston. And then they just get on their little rickety platform elevator thing. And they're like, peace out, guys. Yeah. They're like, how are we supposed to get out of here? What? Not my problem. Die down here. Thanks.
Having anticipated the fact that they would betray them, Ben then finds a notch that the meerschaum pipe fits into. That's what I was saying. Good thing that was brought.
Mm-hmm.
Opening a large chamber containing the treasure with a staircase to the surface. Ben meets up with Sadusky. There's a lot of treasure. Like at first you're like, oh, that's okay. At first I was like, it's not. It's a lot of history in that
that's
treasure.
A lot of gold. And then they were like,
when that other room is,
yeah, the scrolls from Alexandria.
Whoa. Yeah,
like everybody's having a moment. Justin Barth is like, big, tall, blue-green guy with a very interesting goatee.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And gives him a hug.
Yeah, and then Ben finds the oil lamp.
Yeah,
path, I guess,
to light everything up,
which was actually done a lot in a lot of pyramids and temples and things like that.
Yeah, and great way to light it.
Yeah, everything lit up, and you were like, "Oh shit, that's a lot of treasure, like a lot."
Ben meets up with Sadusky, who is actually a Freemason, at ground level to return the declaration. In exchange for dropping the charges on him and Abigail, Ben wants to donate the treasure to museums worldwide, creating the Gates family and crediting the Gates family and Riley for the discovery and Ian's arrest in place of his own. Yeah, because Sadusky says someone's got to go to jail. It got stolen. Someone's going to jail. On a tip from Ben, the FBI finds Ian in Boston, breaking into the Old North Church and arrests him and his henchmen on the spot. Later, Ben and Abigail start a relationship, and Riley is somewhat upset that Ben turned down the 10% finder's fee for the treasure. However, the 1% he did accept has still netted them with significant wealth. Yeah, because then they say it's like worth $40 billion.
I thought they said 10 billion.
Was it 10 billion? Still.
Well, I mean,
1% is still.
They guessed it was 10 billion. It could have been a lot more. But 1% of $1 billion is still a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still lots of money. They were doing all right. And they got it each. They both got 1%.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it ends with him being upset that they only took the 1% as he drives away crappily in his Ferrari.
Oh, God.
And
I don't even drive
Ben
stick,
and
but that hurt my
what's
heart.
her name start their awkward romance in the big castle. And that's our movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right, before we do the score, so what did it do right?
Okay, so it did the inclusion and the explanation of history correct. Because here's the thing, other than the fact of there being a treasure, everything else that they said about the historical figures and about, the places that they went, it was all factually correct. Those are real things.
Yep.
But just FYI, everybody, don't go breaking into museums. There is no real treasure. There is no map on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Please don't try to steal it.
I want you to believe.
Okay, you know what? You know what? No, we're not doing that. No. But anyways, I like that. I like the movie overall. Like, there wasn't a lot of action.
No, not a ton.
There were a few tense moments, and that's why I say it was kind of more of a cerebral Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't rushing and fighting and, very complicated, conflicts. It was a very straightforward, we're going on a treasure hunt. It was a really good treasure hunt.
Yeah.
And as I was watching it, I thought, oh, this would be really fun for kids too. And also the way that they talked about the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, I feel like some current members of the American government should probably watch this movie to get a refresher on, what the role of the government should be. But anyways, yeah, no, it was a fun movie. It was a light movie. It was good.
Yeah, it was paced well.
It didn't feel like 2 hours.
No, it did not.
No,
that's
a good quicker.
Thing.
Yeah. So I give them extra points for that. It was entertaining.
Yeah. So what's your overall score? If you had to grade it out of 10, sits at a 6.7 on IMDb. So if we do an IMDb score,
honestly, I'd probably give it about a 7. A 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 6.5. 6.5 out of 7. And that's why I think it's definitely like a rent it
And I was just about to say, is it worth buying, renting?
No, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't buy this. And I think it's worth more than just a stream. I think it's something it's a fun movie that isn't too scandalous, so you can watch it as a family. It does have some moments where you laugh.
Yeah.
And a treasure hunt is always a good time. I don't care who you are. I love a good treasure hunt. So yeah, I think it's good. It's not as good as I remember it. I remember absolutely being in love with this movie, and I'm not in love with it anymore.
No.
I feel like I just broke up with like my high school boyfriend. This hurts my heart a little bit.
I would probably, where you're 6.57, I would probably give it a hard 6.5.
Yeah.
And it's, if you remember liking this and you have Disney Plus, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
To watch it. I wouldn't buy it. Like even with making ofs or commentary, there's nothing that really grabbed me. Like Streets of Fire. I want to know what the fuck they were thinking when they did that movie.
Oh, 100%.
Like Saved or Drop Dead Gorgeous. I would love to listen to the commentary of the actors and what they went through. This movie doesn't have that for me. But if you don't have Disney Plus and you're looking for a fun family adventure movie, yeah, it's definitely worth a rental. It's like $5. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally worth $5 for 2 solid hours that don't feel like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is so important.
Yeah. No, it's fun. And if you remember liking, hope your kids might like it. Yeah. No, it's definitely worth a rental.
Yep.
Yeah. Would I watch it again? Down the road I would, because I have Disney Plus. And then that's going on. It stays on there like that. And probably to watch number 2 again. I actually, it's kind of made me want to watch the second one.
Me too.
I did enjoy this movie. So
I almost watched the second one right after I watched the first one, because I was like, well, now I want to watch the second.
Did you watch the TV show?
No, not yet. Because I wanted to get through this movie. But then it was so funny because I finished this one and then I was like, okay, do I have enough time? Before I was like, oh, no, it's cutting it way too close because it's another 2-hour movie. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Afterwards or tomorrow, I'm going to watch that and then I'm going to watch the series.
Yeah.
Because I love a good like redemption arc. They told us we were crazy, but no, there really is a treasure. Light action movie that's historically based. I love history though. I'm a big like history nerd.
Yeah.
So all of this fascinates me.
Yeah. I love history. A huge World War II, which I believe is early onset Republican. But I love history. And this movie, like I said, it's fun. So we got a 6.5, a 7, and 2 solid. We're still on a roll.
I know. It's really concerning. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I tried to pick movies for our next batch.
Yeah.
That at least one of us would not like.
Well, you got the 3 ones that we have to pick on. There's got to be
Well,
there's got to be a crappy one in there.
But I was like, depending on the last time you watched it, we might not be able to do it because I, in theory, still love this movie. But I mean, it depends because you have a wife, so chances are you've seen it more recent. I stopped trying to watch it because I didn't want to ruin it.
All right. Well, if you remember National Treasure, like I said, 6.5, a 7, and 2 solid rentals. Yeah. All right. Anything you would like to add to 2004's National Treasure?
No, I think we said it all.
All right. Well, thanks for coming back to the early 2000s and in going through National Treasure with us. And until the next movie we remember liking.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,